to the public who got significantly brainwashed by the Congress with all the misleading information that Modi government failed to handle the COVID pandemic, resign Modi and all, I'd like to tell you that no government has done anything significant in the past during the pandemic. Do you know this? They never had a clue on what's happening first of all. This is not the only time this is happening. You have forgotten the history. Let me remind you. When bubonic plague came in 1300s, it killed around 200 million people in Eurasia and North Africa.
That'll wipe out up to half of Europe's population.
In those times, nobody would have known that it's a bacterial infection. Nobody has any idea where it came from. Same like COVID now. People still have no clue as to where it came from. So in those times, they were like, something happened. People came in boats from Africa. Those who aboard used to die with some infection, and it's spreading. It's like a calamity. Doctors used to go bonkers. How to treat it? Should we cut the leg or should we cut the infected area? How they handled it. People used to decide on their own. In most of the Middle Eastern countries, people even said treating it is a bad thing because it's a punishment given by God to clear our sin. If you treat it, it's like going against God's will. So don't treat it. How do you think governments can handle this situation? It's extremely foolish to blame the government. Despite of all the rescue operations led by governments, people died in millions, okay? And the Spanish flu in 1918, it again killed around 100 million people. Again, nobody could figure out from where the virus started. It could be World War, it could be China, it could be in a military hospital. People have no idea. And people don't know that it's spreading all over the world. Locals thought only we are dying in our city. Those were times where air travels are minimum. There was no exchange of information like we have today. People thought that only in our country people are dying, but the death toll was 100 million people all over the world. So again, governments have no clue. They couldn't just figure out what is it. Doesn't matter how many control measures they took. The masks, the hospitals, the lockdowns, it's not a new thing. In those days itself we did the same thing. In spite of government doing its best to rescue the people, 100 million people died. It's not fair at all to blame the governments all the time. Now, the coronavirus. Again, people are dying in millions. The contagious virus is spreading all over the world. Lockdowns everywhere. People have to wear masks. Economy is dipping. Not enough beds in the hospitals. All kinds of things. A new virus might come up in the future and nobody is prepared for it. Understand, when a calamity like this is approaching, to be fair to the government, to be prepared to such a calamity which hasn't yet come, hoping that it might come in so and so volume, it's an impossible task. It's very easy to say that this could have been done, funds could have been used here instead of building buildings. It's very easy to blame the government. My dear low IQ idiots, we have no idea on what's happening. The virus didn't tell that, hey, I'm coming. Be prepared with your hospitals, beds, oxygen cylinders, etc. A nation with 1.3 billion people passing through this pandemic with minimum abrasion is surprising the world. BJP government has done a fantastic job. If you have any IQ in your brain, if you are not drinking Dhruvarati's pee in the morning, you must congratulate the government. Please listen to this.
I know that a lot of people are criticizing the government. I can tell you the number of COVID patients what we have, if they are presented to US government, there is no way they could manage. Forget about any other country. These are astronomical numbers. No country in the world has the infrastructure to manage. But in terms of oxygen, I can tell you, I have gone through the detail. Our government has done a phenomenal job. They have moved heaven and earth to get the oxygen to the hospitals. Of course, a lot of people have suffered. But then, if the whole country is falling sick, there is no healthcare infrastructure in the world can manage.
But what have you done, dear dynasty family Liberandos? Let me show you what these Liberandos have done during pandemic.
Every day there are so many patients who are getting discharged, and therefore there must be beds that must be made available. But check the BBMP website at any point in the day or any point in the night, the BBMP bed booking software shows that all beds are blocked. How does this take place? So many people, there's a nexus of certain BBMP officers, certain Arogya Mitras in hospitals and certain private agents outside who have made this bribe for bed scam. So asymptomatic patients are blocked beds. People who are at home isolation, who are not even in need of hospitalization, beds are blocked under their names and under their BU numbers. Thereafter, certain people who are outside agents speak to the people in charge in the war rooms and then re-allot the bed to those people who make a certain payment to a certain person outside. So this allotting of beds to asymptomatic patients, later re-allotting it to patients based on certain pecuniary or otherwise considerations, is a most disgusting thing that can take place during a pandemic.
Beds are not blocked for people who are dying out there, but blocked for people who are not in the need. And when Tejasvi Surya looked at the list of employees,
17 jana. Mansoor Ali, Tahir Ali Khan, Sadiq Pasha, Muhammad Zayed, Alsai Sair, Umair Khan, Salman Hurif, Zamir Pasha, Zabiullah Khan, Sayyid Hasnain, Sayyid Shahid, Shahid Shabazz, MD Yunus, Sayyid Moin Shah, Sayyid Muyesh Shah, Al Saeed.
Who is this?
Who are these people?
ಏನು ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರನೇ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರಾ
ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಬರ್ತಾರಾ 17 ಜನ
ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನ
Process ಏನಿದು?
ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಇದು 17 ಜನ ಯಾರು
ಹೆಂಗ್ರಿ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು
ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ
ಅಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ
ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡೋರಾ
ಯಾವ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಆ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಅವರು ಕರೆಸಿ
ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ
ಯಾರು ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಅವರು
17 ಜನ ಏನು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ
ನೀವು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಮದ್ರಸಾಗೆ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವು
when a honorable MP is taking this much difficulty and risk to expose the bed blocking scam, look at the Puncher Shop Alt News, what they're saying about it. If they are a credible source, why are they highlighting only the Muslim names being raised, but not even a single line of concern about the bed blocking scam? You idiots, don't we know what you people have done during Tablighi Jamaat? Don't we know what you discuss and plan in madrasa meetings? Dear Supreme Court of India, look at the kind of unrest these left liberals are creating in the public by posting such misleading information. You got caught red-handed in mob lynching sadhus in Palghar. Your media channels both inside and outside the country are just damaging the reputation of India on global stage. Delhi riots, anti-CAA riots, farmers protest, Bengaluru riots, Bengal riots, Bhimsa riots, everywhere riots. You or your people. You're not even sparing the COVID spread to blame Modi ji. Congress is more dangerous for India than Pakistan and China, I repeat. Mota bhai, when are you going to finish this people?
व्यक्ति और सरकार के खिलाफ बोलने की सहनशीलता, सुनने की सहनशीलता हम में है, कोई बोलता है तो, मगर देश के खिलाफ अगर कोई बोलता है तो इसको ना सहन करना चाहिए, ना हम सहन करेंगे, ये हमारा कमिटमेंट।
Preparedness of the government. If an earthquake happens, you blame the government. If a tsunami happens, you blame the government. Tomorrow some asteroid will come and hit the planet. Whom you gonna blame? Modi ji? The scientists, you know what? At least 5 to 6 viruses that came in the past 30 years are unknown to the scientists. They are clueless. For example, when AIDS came, scientists have gone bonkers, whether it's coming from monkeys, chimpanzees, dogs, or human beings, or what. How to cure it. And you know how many people died. Do not look up to the governments and scientists all the time. They too are helpless. So we have 3 objectives here. To make Bharath Congress free, to make Bharath Corona free, to make Hindus understand if you want to survive, you have to unite. Idiots have divided for personal gains. Please come together.